live.
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
Looks like it's working. It's now streaming. Hey.
I know. Is it streaming? Meeting is
yes,
it's
saying it's streaming.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Coconut Connection. I'm your host, G, and happy Filipino American History Month.
Yes. And I'm Jade, y'all.
So I thought, okay, where's my pen? I was clicking my pen this whole time, and now Rocco, did you eat it?
Could have.
Seriously,
with the Beats headphones.
Yeah, exactly. Bless his little heart.
He's a cutie. You can't be mad at him.
Yeah, my doggy is a cutie. He's a cutie. I don't know what we do without him. So for those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. And I just wanted to introduce us. This is called the Coconut Connection podcast. And we are at season 5. We're starting season 5 today.
Ooh, 5.
So 5. We've done 4 years. And I just wanted to talk about this. Oh, wait, hold on. There's a and hold on one second. Are at season 5. Which, oh my gosh, I'm like I'm hearing myself in the future. Okay. All right. I hope anybody didn't listen to that. I knew there was a step I was missing. I was like, I forgot which part am I muting. Well, that makes sense. The YouTube part. Anyway.
That's okay. See, can you tell we've been doing this for 5 years? No, this is new.
Exactly.
YouTube's new. So
yeah, we're doing it live. So we started this podcast called the Coconut Connection because we are Filipino Americans living in Los Angeles, born and raised, West Side. And we our parents are from Hawaii. They were born and raised in Hawaii. And then my mom is from the Philippines. So we have, Filipinos in our family. And we thought, well, Philippines, Hawaii, coconuts, there's a connection, right?
That's right.
So, yes, we are Filipino enough, even though we don't speak the language. And we created this podcast to talk about stuff that we're interested in. So it's literally a talk story podcast. So if you like to listen to podcasts where you could put on in the background while you're like washing your dishes,
right?
I like to listen to podcasts while I'm doing art. And just
putting on your makeup.
Right? Putting on your makeup, cleaning your house, putting on your earbuds. This is the podcast for you. So that is who we are. And in the beginning, I talked about that it was Filipino American History Month of October. The theme, according to Filipino American National Historical Society, the theme is 1898. And 1898 is, I believe, the Treaty of Paris. And when the Philippines had sovereign over the Spanish, but then it got passed on to America. So that's a whole other thing. Don't at me if I don't know all the just like the details of all the things, because unfortunately our public school system and our education system period has erased a lot of Filipino American history. So even though this has been a thing since, I want to say, again, don't at me. I want to say like at the 80s or 90s. Look it up on FAHNS.com. But it only really started to receive awareness, I think, in the last couple years. Like I see more posts about it than ever. And so I have been going to this workshop by the Filipino American National Historical Society, and they're all like academics that are telling their family stories, which I think is important. And I thought about my own family stories that I may or may not know the details of, but I know that my family was part of the history. So my grandfather, um, he came from Cebu, and he moved. His whole goal was to get an education in Minnesota. I don't know what was in Minnesota, but somehow, people want to go there. Um, and on his way, he got a job in Hawaii, and so he was part of that wave of people that found work in Hawaii plantations. And he was about 16, and then he never got to Minnesota. Then there's my grandmother who came on a ship at 2 years old, and with her brother and her mom came over, and they settled in Hawaii as well. So I think those are part of the family stories that we need to keep telling. My mom was part of the wave of this in the late 60s. But she was here to kind of only visiting. She wasn't here for work. She was here visiting. My aunt was getting married to somebody from Hawaii, and they all find each other. He happened to be from Maui, and my mom was sent in place of my grandparents to check up on this guy. So end up she meets my dad before she's about to leave to the Philippines, go back to the Philippines. And when my dad's from Hawaii as well, he's a Filipino as well, and she ended up saying, and that's how I came to be in LA. So I think those stories need to be told, because that's everybody should be included. I don't think just because I don't speak the language, just because maybe I don't know like everybody's connection and relation, doesn't discount the fact that I'm still Filipino, and the world sees me as that too. Well, they see me at least Asian,
And I think it's important that you ask your family those stories and like those things, because I can tell you, sitting here when you're telling me your story, and I love hearing it, but I know nothing about my history, right? Like why my grandparents came over, or any of that. So I think it is important for us to ask those questions of our parents.
Or your aunties and uncles that remember things. I think it's important to have those conversations just to keep it going, because our history could be easily lost.
Yes.
Apparently that was the reason why you don't see it in books, that we're not, it doesn't seem like, I was just telling Jade, like it doesn't seem like we're part of anything. Like we're not as strong as all the other maybe cultures. And it's like there's a lot of negativity outside of our culture, or even inside our culture, about like we should be more, we should assimilate more, and we should be like more, I don't know what it means to be American, or more I don't know, like I don't want to say white, but like
we don't make waves. We don't make waves. We don't like stand up for ourselves. We don't. So that's why we're being erased. I mean, that's why people don't know anything about
opposite. We did the opposite, because we would have been, everybody would have just gone back to the Philippines, like in a sense, right? But they stood and fought, and then this is their home. This is their, and a lot of Filipinos integrated, right? And we have a lot of like, Hapa families and stuff like that. And they should be embraced too. They're still Filipinos. So, I thought about that, made me think, like, as they were telling their stories, how important it is to have these pictures and like tell these stories, because it's not just in a textbook. It's actually like rooted in in family history, and like you're part of something. And it makes me think more like, okay, I want to know more details about this and that, and have more conversations while we can. Okay, so I wanted to say that just to honor Phil Lam History Month, everybody, not Heritage Month. So you can eat your lumpias and all that, but Let's
Where
talk
can I
about the
go?
history. Let's
Where
talk
can
about
I
the history.
go to get
I
some?
know, right?
Some
Send some over. Send some over. All right. So what is new? We've been away for a while. So what's new, Jade?
Oh my gosh. No, I'm so boring now in my old age.
Mm,
Um, right now, because my daughter has started, uni and stuff, I think that
mhm.
has been what's kept me, buying what she needs. Even though she is like, I don't need anything. And it's so frustrating because I'm like, yes, you need stuff. Um,
Yeah.
but work's been great. We did a like a 5K where like
Oh,
in
cool.
downtown. Yeah, in downtown they have this thing where every year they can do the stairs at the US Bank building.
Yes, I'm familiar with
Yes.
that.
Yeah. So with firefighters, right? And
Yes.
then but we did like an urban walk where we did 3.1 miles and we walked all over
Oh, that's
downtown LA.
fun.
Totally. The weather was beautiful. It was
Yeah,
like
the weather was
cool.
nice.
It was great. So we did that. And I think, you know, that's what I've been doing. I've been doing that and kind of like writing a little bit, writing a little bit more. So
Okay.
we'll see. We'll see where that leads. What about you, G? What have you been up to?
Um, I've been trying to live this new life of like stepping back from the usual responsibilities I usually have. And so that's still new to me, but I like it.
Yeah,
I like
good.
it. Right now I'm doing something called Peachtober, and it is like a prompt list. Like right now it's Inktober. Like that's the
Yeah.
thing that everybody knows, right? Like you ink things based on a prompt list every day in October. So 31 ink drawings or whatever. So this one is called Peachtober. If you go and follow at Fairy Little Peach, she's an artist, she's an illustrator. She created her own prompt list, and you could do any media. You don't have to just do ink. So 31 days, 31 paintings, or whatever. Mine's gonna be paintings, because that's my media of choice. I think it's good to foster an art practice that's regular, whether it be a day, once a week, whatever it is. And I think it's good for art block as well, because you're kind of forced to like, okay, you have an assignment. So, um, I tried it last year and I planned the whole thing, all 31, but only got up to number 5 because
Okay.
my life became really busy, and then you start feeling guilty that you're like behind, and it's like, okay, this is not even for a grade or anything. So
Yeah.
so this time I went in with a different mindset. I was like, I'm going to prepare for it, and then I'm going to think of it as small paintings, not like every single time I like put something out is that it's going to be this masterpiece. Like they're
Yeah.
never masterpieces. So I was like, I don't
Yeah.
know why I think it's going to be a masterpiece, or I'm not going to post it. So part of the art journey and your art practice is not to come up with like these like finished pieces, to actually just grow from it and to learn from it. And that's what I think is happening right now. I'm 8 days in. So I have 8 prompts. If you go on at Coconut Con Pod, our Instagram, you'll see, day to day, like, how I'm doing. And if you join, that would be great too, because,
Yeah.
you'll understand the prompts that are coming out.
I think there's something to that about being some form of art daily, because I've been thinking about that lately.
Mhm.
My form is like I love writing, but I think that I just need to get back to reading and really just fostering that creativity and that inspiration in me, however I get to it. So I have been thinking about that lately. So it's just a matter
Mhm.
of what form. So I'm trying to get back to daily journaling
Yep.
and do that and dabble a little bit in, maybe art, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I'm just trying to get inspired again, trying to get inspired.
Yeah. I think things like this like get you inspired, because I'm like, okay, I don't suck that hard. It's like,
She doesn't suck, people. Don't even believe her.
I know, but
It's like,
I thought it was gonna be way harder than myself, but I'm like, I can see the growth, right? Like
yeah.
like we talked before, like from the beginning of where I started actually publishing them. on Instagram to like now, it's definitely been a big leap. And I think that's the great thing about daily art practice or regular art practice. And I think the same thing with writing is like, it's really incremental steps. And the more you do it, actually, you're like, whoa, I really grew. Like, I can't even I don't even want to read when I started like maybe 2 novels and I'm like, I don't even want to look at them because I'm like, wow, I probably really, again, like imposter syndrome. Like, I don't know what I was doing. I'm not a writer. I think it's great, still great concepts, but like, I'm like cringe. Like, I don't know if I could do it. Like, I just would want to start all over. Like,
that's why it's good that you don't look and then you want to rewrite.
Yeah. On that point. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But then it's good that you do, because then you could like, you could appreciate how you write now.
True,
yeah.
True.
I saw, yeah, go ahead.
No. There is something in just doing it every day. And like it eventually you do get better, because I see it in you. Like I see it in your painting. For as long as you've been doing it, like I can see the growth. And that has to be the same with anything that you take on, whether it's a martial art, whether it's writing, whether it's taking photography, you do get better with time. So just keep
I mean, it's like also like exercise, right? Like when you start to like, I'm gonna walk, then I jog, then you're running, and you're like, oh, like 3 months ago I wasn't even running on a treadmill, like that's another thing I want to get into, because it's like your mind like stops you from doing things, because it's like, but I can't do it at this level, so I might as well not. That's how I kind of feel like with exercise. Like, oh my God, I used to be able to dance and do all these things. Now I feel like I have to stretch out first, or else I'm gonna, like, I'm like, it's the reality of the situation. Like, you just can't go and like, it, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta like do stretches for half an hour before like, these muscles start to break it down, Yeah. So check it out. I would be curious to see if anybody joined in, or you're doing something else for October. There's a lot of prompts out there. So yeah.
I was thinking of reading Artist Way. Is Artist Way like, what do you think about Artist Way?
So like so the last time I read it, I remember reading some of it in college. I don't remember it that well. Then I bought the book recently, and I only got up to like week 3. And I think that's where I'm at right now. But I want to push myself, because it's really hard for me, I guess, with my schedule. And like, I guess I could get up at 4:00 in the morning and do morning pages, because that's the big thing with Artist Way. It's like you're writing 3 pages a day, and it takes me about 25 to 30 minutes to fill out 3 pages. I guess I could find a smaller notebook, because
that's right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, this is like, now that I think about it, I'm like, maybe that notebook is too big. And you're just supposed to just write, and like whatever, and then get your creative juices flowing, and like think about things like kind of like almost like automatic writing, but not so. It's just like you just writing whatever comes to your mind. They also have tasks in there, like write a letter to that teacher that said you suck as a writer. About, oh my God, there was one task that said list your artist friends, and I sat there and I'm like, I need to get friends. I need to get some artist friends. I was thinking like artist friends that are actually doing art, because I'm like, I have a lot of people that like art, but doing art, I don't think I have a lot of friends, and so I said that's my goal, is to like, okay, I need to like be part of some kind of art community, or somebody that's doing art right now. So that's one thing. So it just like helps you think about things and then process things. It's also like almost like therapeutic, because it's like who hurt you kind of thing. Like, why do you like, because a lot of your blocks are based on like past things. So my goal is to get through it, but I'm not going to get through it like in 12 weeks. Like, it's just going to be what it is. Like, I don't want it to make another assignment for myself. right now it's kind of difficult because now I'm just doing this. And like, I try to like get up early and I can't do it, but I see why it works in the morning. Like I thought, oh, what if I do afternoon pages? I think you're in a different mindset at the end of the day. I think morning, you're more like a different mindset. And me, I'm not a morning person. So I
Yeah.
literally like just whatever, blah, 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 blah. So yeah,
Interesting.
I know everybody's reading the Artist Way right now. It just so happens that everybody's reading it. It's weird.
Yeah, I see that on
Like
TikTok
we're all
too.
like in a big collective blob, like
Yeah.
moving together. So that's, I was like, well, I'm not a full-time artist, so I'm not gonna make it my thing where I'm gonna focus every morning on it because I work, so I
Yeah.
can't do that.
Okay. Interesting.
All right, so this was coming.
Well,
I
what
hope
was
you were
coming?
prepared
Gosh.
for this. I
Wait,
hope you were
what was that?
prepared for
I can't prepare for something I don't know is coming. But you planned it that way.
this. Exactly. Theme word update.
No.
I knew you were gonna have that. I knew you were gonna.
No, you know what?
So tell us.
You know what?
Because it's almost the end of the year. We have one more quarter.
Honestly, I have entered and I am in my Empress, era. Like
Okay.
I have come so far, and I ended my last therapy session was this past Wednesday.
Okay, so recently.
Yeah. And it's funny. It's like I have worked through so many things and I have been given so many tools and so many things that like it's a weird feeling to be in this peaceful place, like this place that's just calm. It is centered. Like it is, I feel like the best version of myself, or the version that I am supposed to be. I mean, it will never be perfect. Like it'll never, but I feel it's a weird, strange feeling to be not suffering and to not have that. What's the word? All I can liken it to is it's a weird calm. It's a weird peace where everything is just kind of right with the world, and if I don't like something, whether in my relationships, whether in my job, that I have the strength to speak for myself and say, I don't, you know what, I don't like this. I don't agree with this, and be okay with working through it, like to get to that place. It's weird because I am so used to chaos. I'm used to drama. I'm used to just that pain of longing and that sadness. And it's like, no, like I am at like, I feel like my higher self has transcended and I am like sitting on, now it's almost like, okay, it's like, what's next? Like what's next for me in terms of where am I going? Like, where will I go next? Like, is this the end of what I've had to learn here in this life? But yes, it's like, I'm just at this peaceful place. It's so strange, but that is my update. It's so weird. Knock on wood. I better start knocking.
I know, right? Like I'm kind of sort of in the same place, but I'm like, waiting for the shoe to drop, to just blow everything up.
The proverbial shoe, right?
Right. That's like what, I call it my realist side. Not pessimistic, but realist side. Like, I'm like, things are going a little bit too good, right? Yes. But I liken it to, okay, so I just got over my tower year. I'm starting my star year right now. So I'm just like, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy what comes with all the things that I went through last year, which was actually a good year. Like it was a good year last year. It challenged me, like a lot of things. There was a lot of things, and I don't even want to rehash any of it because I came out through the tunnel. Like I came through it.
Yes.
And I want to enjoy this time. Like, so I definitely think like last year's tower year forced me to have a lot of gratitude, like force myself to think about, okay, what are things that are going right? Because there was a lot of things that were going wrong. And so now, because of that practice, like I fully I do it normally now.
Wow.
Like just like I have to look at the bright side because I can't control all the things that happen, right? So my word was curiosity or being curious. And I think it's been half of the year was was work, like all the things that was going on with work and the union and all that. And then summer came and I was like, now I'm curious about, what do I do with the time that I have that I didn't have? And like, I really want to just be a full-fledged artist, not a full-time artist. I just want to be an artist, like live my life like that.
That's
Like,
beautiful. Love it.
yeah, like, I was telling my husband, like, I don't care. Like, I'll dress. I mean, I always dress the way I want.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, but now I look at it as like, oh, this is my expression of like
Yes.
my artist expression. Like, I always like admire artists that dress however they want because it's part of who they are. Like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like,
I
you see
do.
certain like artists, like maybe musical artists, whatever. I mean, they have stylists, but like, you feel like that's them. Like, I
Yes.
want to be like that. And it's like, I don't care what anybody thinks. But I also want to be curious about like stretching myself as an artist without comparison, which is the comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes.
And it's like,
yes.
It's like art is supposed to be joyful. So I'm like, it's not joyful if you're comparing yourself. So I'm practicing that, and I'm like encouraging my inner child to be like, you're doing good, because you would never tell a child your art sucks. You know what I mean? But why am I telling my inner child that? So I think it's a good thing. I think I think it was a good word now that I look back on, because we don't know when we picked the words, we didn't know it was gonna take us.
No, we didn't like at all. It's just, but has been our theme, right? Like we've always, in the end, we've chosen this word, and it ended up being so apropos, like to whatever was happening to us within that year. So I really believe in that. I'm so glad that you brought that into our lives, of that whole theme word, and really just because it's almost like maybe we manifest that for ourselves, right? Because we put it out there, and subconsciously we manifested that to be that thing or that word. But that's beautiful. I'm so glad that you're having grace in yourself, and you just, your art, you are an art. You've always been an artist to me. So I don't even know what, you don't have to be this, but you are this person. And I think it's just beautiful. Like, and I love that for you. Like, I really do.
Yeah. And I think I just like, instead of always like, well, I'm not there yet, I think that's what I was like you said, like I've always, since I was like, I can remember, like I've always like did art, but I don't think I was like, oh, it's just something I like to do. It wasn't like, oh, I'm an artist. Right. So like now in the last year or so, I've been trying to embrace it. Like, no, this is who you are, not something you do. And that means in everything I do, right? Like at work, I have to be creative. Like, in fact, we had like a professional development, and they're like, you need to read this article and you need to present. And I'm like, okay, this is after a long day of teaching. We're like, and all of a sudden I'm just like, could we just like a song? Like, if you go for it, and I wasn't a great song, but I was just like, I'm an artist. So it's like,
yay.
Like, I had to find some joy in this kind of work that we have to do and push ourselves. So, I'm like trying to embrace all those parts. And like, now I'm trying to be like, okay, wear whatever I want to wear, like use all the earrings in my collection. Like,
love that.
You try to use my makeup palette, like everything is all connected. So, I'm curious to see how we end this year and how it inspires us for 2024.
I'm excited. And you talked about, it's funny, you coming out of your tower year, and I believe I'm actually in my tower year.
And yours like behind.
And what's funny is I've been through so much change, like, and I'm sure it's going to keep coming. Like I can feel it,
more
you
to-
know? Yeah. It's like, I'm like, no, not the tower. But no, like I've really come through some of the toughest, hardest things. And I know it's coming, but that's good because look how much I've grown, like how much I've changed. So I'm excited for the tower, right? Like, what are the possibilities? Like, who am I going to be?
Excited when I had the tower year because I knew that change was coming and it was a new chapter.
Yes, it's exciting. The possibilities, endless. Like you just don't know. So, I think people out there should know you shouldn't be afraid of like the tower. I know like in tarot people get so, but it's not like it's your opportunity for like growth, whether spiritual, emotional, like physical. It could be anything, so embrace it.
And like you're gonna come out of it like not the same. Like that you won't come out of the same, but there's always going to be growth at the end. That's what I think. That's what I think. And being in the star year, I'm just like, that's a lot of themes of like hope and like kind of like seeing like what's gonna come next.
Yeah.
Like what's gonna come next from it, because you've gone through this whole growth period, but now you're gonna like, I don't know, see the fruits of your labor, I guess.
Yes, I think you're gonna shine. I think you're gonna be but to me, like I think star to me, when I think about it, it's like the best version of yourself, like the ultimate shining, like that's like your thing. Like next to the sun, you are a star, right? So it's like you there just shining, like that's what I see.
That's what I'm hoping. Like things that I want to do that I guess it's going to be a labor of love for sure, because no one's putting this on me but except for myself. But the things that I want to do, it's all like passion driven. So passion projects. So yeah.
So exciting for us.
It is exciting. So, I mean, speaking of the last quarter, I mean, it already started, but we're upon like the last 90 days of the year.
Oof.
Well, you generally like, January 1st or January, I'm going to start this habit. But wouldn't it be nice if you already had the habit like in January? You know what I mean? Like,
you're not wrong. You are not wrong.
To work now. So that way it's like, yes, I'm doing this. So is there any one thing that you would want to change? A habit that you would want to change? I mean, it could be a small one. Like I want to drink more water. Like that should be one of mine because my throat is always dry. One thing,
girl, that's so hard. You're telling a wordsmith to pick one thing.
Okay. Yeah. Let me. Okay. I have several things, but
you go first.
Okay. I'll go first so you can think. So these are the 3 things that I wrote down. I really want to go to the gym because I'm making donations to the Church of Planet Fitness every month. The last years. Not tax deductible. I'm not giving graces from God or anything like that. But I'm like, it's only $10, So I really want to go. Like even if it's just once a week, where it's like I look forward to going. And one of the habit like strategies you could do is to pair it with something you like to do. Okay. So when I go to the gym, I get to. And of course, the reward for me is not working out, right? And it's like at that moment, right? Like if it was that, I would have been going, right? I think I have to like pair it with something that, and I often say, oh, well, I could put on a podcast and like I only listen to this podcast when I'm on the treadmill or when I'm on the elliptical or when I'm working out at the gym. But right now I haven't had anything that I'm like, oh, I need to really listen to. But that's what I was thinking. I don't have to look at a screen. They could just play. I thought of also like back in the day when we had CDs, we made mixed CDs. I used to
Yes.
have like a workout CD that I loved. And I'm like, you know what? I should do that again. Like,
Yeah,
down
Spotify is the best. Like you can make the
yeah,
best playlists
I
on
was like, I need
Spotify.
to make which I probably have one, but I don't know what it is. I should make a new one. And like, this is my workout playlist.
Oh,
Like, and
that'd
it's
be
only
awesome.
that always gets me happy, but I only listen to it.
Okay.
If I
That would
listen to
be
it in the
fair.
car, then it kind of loses its whole thing.
That's true. You'd be excited. You want to be excited to
I
hear
was
this
excited.
playlist. Yes.
Like I said, that's another thing. Like with podcasts, you're like, I need to listen to the next episode. Or I know I have a friend that's like watches Netflix, right?
Yeah.
I cannot watch the next episode unless I'm at the gym. So I'm trying to think of that pairing.
I think that would be awesome.
Taking walks is kind of like the similar thing.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't like to wear my earbuds while I'm walking unless I'm at the park because of safety reasons.
Of course. Of course.
And then the other one was laundry. So like, how do you pair laundry with something fun?
Well, you could listen to podcasts again, right? You could watch a show. Maybe you could treat yourself to while you're folding.
That's true. While I'm folding,
Yes.
I can only watch this show because we're going to talk about later, but I'm like major couch potato. So
yes,
I should only watch this show or watch this YouTube channel unless I'm folding or doing laundry.
Exactly, because then it'll be a joyous thing you want to do paired with something you're like, I'm not quite sure.
I think about this too.
Because you love your shows, like you.
I do, and I love just sitting there, just like, I mean, it's bad because it could be considered numbing out, right?
Yes.
We can, it's like,
but if you're folding clothes,
but yeah,
you're being productive.
Then that numbing out works for me. My attachment style accepts that. It's okay for my style because
Okay, I see what you're saying. So you know what? I have been going to Orange Theory 3 times a week.
Yes.
But after and it's been, you know what? I love the way I feel after I get up early in the morning. I go to a 5 o'clock class.
See, that's where I want to be, where it's like, I don't need pairing because I like going. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I like to go. I want to go. But I'm not there yet.
But after going to a physical, with my doctor and, our age, and I have to do more. Like I can't do now 3 times a week. I have to do 5 or 6. So
right.
I could do more classes, but I think the habit that I want to change is I need to incorporate, I truly, now this time I've been saying it for years, but since I've been doing it 3 times a week, it's not hard, but it is hard to add those 2 or 3 more days of doing something. Now you're right. How do I pair it? Right. I guess I got to think of what is the reward for me other than health.
I get to do this because
yes. So this is a good question. Honestly, I have to think about that because I do like the playlist. I do like your idea of the playlist because I love music. That I can only listen to it when I do. But I'm like, maybe I should do audiobook where
audiobooks. Yeah.
Like I only can listen to a book because I don't get to read much now.
Yeah.
While I'm walking on the treadmill or doing something. So I think
fill those other 2 days with low key walking. That's why I was like, if I could just fit in, partial gym, partial walking, I'd be set, right? Because I'm supposed to be doing 30 minutes every day.
Yes, right. That's fuck.
Right.
It's like
and
or we could watch a show. I could watch a show, like something.
Okay, I'm gonna write some of this down. And then God, you made me think of something and then I forgot what it was. But yeah, no, those are good. Those are good, good pairings, I think, that are easy to do.
I mean, like you, I probably have a lot on my list that I want to do, but I feel that for my health wise
thing that you could before
I
the
could do that.
2023. So that way you are not be set for 2024. We're not going to be one of those people that we aren't one of those people that set resolutions.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? We set theme words like we have whole year to do it. So, but wouldn't it feel good? Be like, yeah, I'm already doing stuff. Like, I'm not part of that. I'm not part of that gang. You know what I mean? Like, I am myself, you know?
Gang, ice cream so good. Ice cream so good.
Okay. So, which leads me actually to my next thing that my last thing that I wanted to talk about was like watching TV. So I watch TV. I know you don't, but I was like, I just wanted to make space for this because reality shows, it's like Johnny, my husband, laughs at me because he's like, they're all fake, right? It's not unscripted. I'm like, yes, I know they set it up that way.
Yeah.
Maybe like some of like the conversations aren't scripted, but
Yeah.
they set it up, right? But
Topics.
Care? I'm like, I don't care. I just like it. It's like I don't know. It's like getting into other people's business without you knowing them, right? Like that's what like sometimes when you find somebody that watches the same reality show that you do and we're just talking about them, like, and outside people are like, are you talking about your friends? Because we're like really like into it. But it's like it's a guilty pleasure of mine. I also watch over the fashions. I love like and most of these people like in Real Housewives. So I'm a big Real Housewives person. Of Atlanta is my favorite. And the second one is probably Potomac. I recently got into that last year.
Potomac. You wouldn't think Potomac would be.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't even know where that is. But apparently it's like near DC or something.
Okay.
Or in DC. I don't know. Like, I don't care. But like the fashions to me, like, and a lot of them are like women like my age, or like close to my age. They're like middle age, right? So I like that they can still be fabulous and just
and it's I would think it's a glimpse into the world, a world that we would never know, that we're
never gonna know.
We're never gonna know, but it's fascinating, like Bling Empire, right? Like fascinating to see.
I just caught up with that because I had nothing else to watch, and I was like, fine, I'll watch like season 3. Like, work, and that was it because it was kind of annoying me. But then I was like, I had nothing. It was just again, I was probably folding clothes or something, and I was watching it. And I was like, okay, I finished it. And it wasn't, I guess it was bearable because I was able to watch the whole thing. But yeah, it's like, those will never be my friends.
Yeah.
Those, I will never hang out with those people. They'll never choose me to be their friends.
No.
Fine. So that's why I feel justified on looking down at them.
Judging them. We can judge them,
Because they probably would judge me anyway. But it's like, it's all in good fun. No one's getting hurt.
No.
Right? You know what I mean? No one's getting hurt. And it's like they're willingly putting their lives out there.
That's right. Us. They want us to judge them. They want us to.
And I think, I thought, wow, this is a problem because most of the things I watch are unscripted, quote unquote, right? But the ones that I do, like, I wanted to talk about the other stuff that I do watch, but I think it all stems from this whole couch potato nest thing. I think it stems from, really, really came out when I was like so busy. It was just like, this is my time, this corner of this couch. Like I even told Johnny, like, you can't sit in this corner. This is my corner. This corner that and just comforted like on all the things that I watch and all the personalities that I've invested in, including YouTube. Right. So I think it's because I've been alone a lot. Like I'm alone a majority of the time. And to the point where I value it now. It's so weird.
Yeah. It's nice, right? To have like
it's actually
the moment to yourself.
So nice. And I'm like, I was telling you earlier that, normally, I mean, I'm not a party person. I mean, I'm like not a party goer, but within reason, if I get invited to some place and I want to go, I'll go. But lately I just been like, but I could be sitting in my corner, like I'm like, like I could just be in my comfortable clothes watching, like binge watch.
Yeah.
I'm not binge watching, but just like one after the other. Like I got to catch up on this. There's always something to catch up on. And I'm really embracing my introvert side of myself.
Wow. Okay. I'm loving that.
Yeah, which is weird. Like sometimes even when Johnny's around, like it's too much. I'm like, it's too much. Even though he's like, you're still talking. Like it is that at the same, you can have two things the same and true at the same time, right? Like I'm so talkative. I'm like, imagine
you're very outgoing.
Right? Like imagine this, right, Jade? Like, I'm like this all the time. Just for the podcast. Not just for the podcast. Those of you that are listening that actually know me, you're like,
yes, this is
she loves to talk.
She's just very outgoing. She is her sign. Like it just is very like she is the life of the party. So I love that you are embracing your introvert. You know,
I am. You figure I'm like fire. It's like rising moon. And what am I missing?
Fire, girl, fire, rising moon and sun. Moon, rising is all fire.
I'm all fire. It's like Leo, Aries. So, it's all about the passion. It's all about this. But there is a part of me, and somewhere in my probably like astrological chart, there is that chill.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I do like to chill. Like if I'm just talking a lot when I chill, but this is chill, like not talking to anybody.
Yeah.
Like is really, I guess, because I talk a lot in my spaces.
That's true. Your job and everything. Yeah.
And whatever I'm asked to do.
Advocate, your advocacy. You're very vocal.
Yeah. And then talking to my husband, Johnny, all the time. Yeah, I guess I like that quiet time.
That's like awesome.
Yeah. So that's something new that I realized that, you know what it is? Because I'm like, oh, I like the quietness sometimes, and stillness, and like that's kind of new. Like I like being quiet. It's not that I'm against it, but I just really, really like it. And it's almost paired with the shows that I watch.
But there's something to that because I don't know, maybe is it because we're older? I don't know, because I have been like that same way in terms of sometimes it's just, I just would rather, if I had the choice between going out, like when I'm dressed, I'm like, okay, I might as well, I should do something. But then you have those thoughts like, do I really want, it would just be so nice to just be home, but I do like going for drives and stuff, like by myself or just to be out sometimes, but I don't need to be communicating with people. I have been making time for my friends or people in my life to see them. And that's nice. Like that. I think that's great to make time for those people. But I find I also do love like having that time for myself. Just doing what I love. Like this morning, I actually thought our podcast was starting at 8. And so I was all ready. And then, I realized it started later. So it was nice to have that hour because I haven't pulled tarot and had that spiritual time to myself. So it was nice to have that hour to do that. And it felt so good. Like, it was like, wow, like I needed it. Like I needed to be in touch with my spirit guides and my intuition. And so it was just nice to have that hour, like to yourself because nobody was home. And so I get you. Like, I feel you. It's just a funny thing to like have those moments.
I mean, I think what you're saying, and I laugh to myself as you're talking because, you've been like famous for like hermit mode. I'm like, of course. Of course. Like, she's not telling me anything new. This is not nothing new. She's talking about like, this is like a new thing. And I'm like, girl. But I think what's different from what you're saying, because hermit mode is literally like, I'm nowhere, like
I'm going through something. Like I'm going through something
and I don't talk to anybody. Like I can't. I just can't.
Yes.
You're telling me that you're using the time for something. It's
enjoyable.
Yeah, it's enjoyable.
Yes.
Like, so that's where I'm at too. Like, I'm like, it's not me just totally numbing out on whatever shows.
Yes.
It's like I'm doing other things too that, I just like I just like window shopping sometimes, whether it be
Yes.
online, you know how you just put in the cart,
Yes.
but you don't hit
Yes.
submit. I like that. And I like just taking my time walking through the aisles of like
Right?
Target and like, or Staples or whatever. I can make an outing out of anything. And it's
Girl,
just like,
that must be our
it's so
age. 'Cause
inspiring.
same
Yeah.
thing. You can walk Costco. You just go up, not buying
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
You
You just want to
go
see. Yeah.
around. Yeah.
You just want to see. You want to see what's going on with it, you know? And it's like, yeah, that thing, like just, I guess, not having to have the hustle and bustle of like, I got to be somewhere. So I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, I guess if I get invited somewhere, it's like, oh, now I got to rush and fit my other things that I was going to do. I don't know what that comes. That's a new thing. I'm still exploring why I feel at times, I don't want to say social anxiety because I know that's the thing that people like really suffer from. I want to say times where I feel anti-social.
Right.
And not in a negative way, just be like, I don't know if I have enough, like, you know, you don't know if you have enough battery in your phone, you know? It's, I don't know if I have enough battery or any juice in my battery to actually go and, I don't know, have a good time.
I also wonder if it's a bit of now wanting to be a little selfish for yourself, right? Like I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know if that is, but like, what if it's that because you're always there for people, right? You're always there doing something for people because you do love doing things for people. But what if you're in this era now where you're like, you know, I just want to do for me. Like, I just want to do painting, or I want to just watch a show. I want to read a book. Like, maybe you're just like choosing you now over being there for other people, for the kids, for the
or being productive
advocate.
Yes.
That
like my
could be
too. It's like productive, like for whom? Like,
yes,
even if it's for yourself, like I gotta like practice this and like practice sketching or whatever. It's like, you know, reframing it like I get to do that, not I have to do it. I think it is where we're at because right now I feel like I don't have to do all the things. Like I feel like in my years like of I have to get all the things that I need to get done while I'm young, you know? And now I'm like, I'm still young, but now I get to choose.
Yes, you get to do whatever you want. You don't have to
anything. Yeah, you're just
you have to do it for your mom. You don't have to do it for your family. You don't have to do it for your husband. You can do it for you now. Like, this is like our time. Like, we have so many choices, you know, and that's almost kind of like how I feel about being at this peaceful place. It's like I'm no longer longing for things, you know, or to do things, or I'm missing out. Like, I don't feel FOMO. You know, it's not like I'm missing out on something. Like, I can choose whatever I want to do. And I can do it. And I can afford to do it. I can afford to do it now, you know.
You know what's funny? It's so because and I always talked about this I always think about this when I talk to my friends. Like, you know I'm in a different place than everybody else is. But right now I'm like, wow, we're kind of in the same place. Because you have kids and they're still doing things, right? Like they're not often having their own family and whatever. But it's like, it's actually refreshing to hear somebody my age say that they are, and that is a mom, right? Is that they're using this time for themselves, because tell me it is so rare. I'm like trying to think of my list of friends that are our moms. It's like a constant, I have maybe you and like a handful of friends that are really make time to enjoy their lives too. And I like being around that. So it's like, it's not like, oh, it's a privilege of yours, Gwen, because, you are childless, or child free. It's like, yes and no, I guess. I don't know how it would be if I had children. I'd be like worried about them too, but it's kind of like refreshing to hear that you say it. And I'm like, okay, it can be a thing. It can,
it can, because
sometimes for yourself.
Kids, especially at the age that my kids are, they're doing things for themselves, right? They're making their own lives. They're with their friends. So maybe it's been helpful that I've always been a little selfish in myself. I mean, it is
Mm,
bad at times, but I think, but really though, being selfish for me, right? Like positive me, because
yeah.
I've been negative selfish,
Yeah,
right?
there's a difference. Yeah.
Yes. So right now I'm in a positive selfish where I think I'm not doing it to at the expense of other people or, F you, right? No, it's I have this time. What am I going to do with this time now for myself? And I'm okay. Like it is I do get moments of sadness that my kids or my husband are doing their own
Yeah,
thing, but that also gives me time to do something for me. So
that's true.
it is fun. It's exciting. Like it's I can't wait to see like what it is that I do with this newfound time for
Mm.
myself
See,
this
that
year.
is so great. Like, I think some of my friends are there, but most of the people that I know, it's like it's like a hard knock life. Like a hard knock life for us, moms. You know what I mean? I'm like, I feel bad for y'all. Like, I'm just like, dang. So, because
Yeah.
I'm thinking there's not going to be a time where you just relax and like the kids go, like, unless you're like really, really old. But I don't think you like not worry about your kids.
Yeah.
Like even
Yes.
when they're older, they have their own children. Then it's going to be about the grandchildren. Then it's going to be about other things. Who knows where our lives will lead? You know, uh, I think it'll never just be where you're just like, I take care of no one, or I just and completely, unless everybody, you know, like is gone.
Yes.
I mean, but I think that's refreshing, and that's a great message for moms out there, that it's I always say, if you don't take care of yourself, then you can't take care of your kids the way you want to.
Very
So
true.
if you're going to be edgy all the time, like,
Yeah.
I think, what are you teaching your kids? Like,
Yeah.
you got to teach them to be a little selfish too. Like, this is the time, like when you're
Yeah.
young, like to do whatever you want to do within reason.
And I wish more younger people, and especially people with younger kids, would know that, because yes, we're always going to be thinking and worrying about our kids, but
Right.
you know what, you have to be, happiness starts with you, right? If you want, they will be happy if you're happy. Like, and
Yeah.
I have friends that have littler ones, and I think it's funny, I look back and I'm like, oh, thank goodness, like, I don't know how I did it back then. It was
Yeah.
like a blur, but it's like I'm so glad I'm not there. It's like
Yeah.
it's a lot of work, but
Yeah, it is
I
a lot
also
of
tell
work.
them, find things that you love, like do things that make you happy,
And
because
not like wait, sorry to cut you off, but
no, no,
not
no.
wait until you have a weekend or a
Yes.
vacation. It's like, what are you doing every day for yourself?
Yes, girl. Every day, find 5 minutes. Like we
5 minutes.
that hour that they're asleep, that, in the middle of the
Yeah.
night, do something for you. Like, yeah, it feels selfish and horrible. And you think, I can't, but you can. You can. Like, I'm here to tell you, you
Yeah.
can. It's prioritizing
Prioritize.
yourself,
That's
prioritize
right.
you.
That's right. Prioritize you over everything. I think it's
Hmm.
a healthy way to be, to teach your kids to take care of themselves too. Because what are we teaching our kids? To just
Yes. Just work,
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 responsibilities. Like,
and then be grumpy all the time, and
yes, be
get
depressed,
yeah, and then now you
anxiety.
need therapy, and like,
Yes.
it's like we're just continuing the cycle. But
Yes.
I think this generation is totally different. They grew
I
up
agree.
with self-care.
I
They grew
agree.
up
I
they
agree.
it's like that wasn't a word back then. So they grow up with that. I mean, even at the elementary school level, like we're supposed to teach them that,
Wow.
uh, know your emotions, be aware of how you feel. Like, this is all stuff that we never learned, and that a lot of people are in therapy to learn more about how you feel, because especially when you become a mom, I'm assuming, because I was only one for 1 year, was that you have to forget yourself a little, because how will you juggle all the things, right?
Yeah. It's a blur. Like I said,
Yeah, it's a blur.
you
That's
don't
my mom said. My
know.
mom said she's going to be 80 now. So like, she
Wow.
doesn't remember how we were raised. Like,
Right?
it's literally a blur to her.
Like I tell my daughter all the time, I don't know. Like, I don't even remember those years of elementary school when we had to do church things, like
you guys were
how
really
did I
busy
do
with
it?
that.
How did I do script? How did I do that? Volunteer? I
Oh my
don't
God,
know.
that's right. That's
like,
right. It's like my mom's like, you just do it.
Yes.
You just do it.
It's
But
like you forget you're on robot mode or something. Like
you
you're on
have
like
it's just like because there's like all these things that you have to do on your list. And then usually the things that you want to do or the things you have to do to take care of yourself are on the bottom of the list.
Yes.
But one thing I guess I want to leave this conversation with is, do men, they have the same feeling? We talked about mom guilt, a couple of times, and it's like they never talk about dad guilt. Like do men feel guilty about not,
I can tell you
having time to self-care themselves? And
there is one man I know. I can't speak for other men because really, the consensus is most men are like in this one, but
they're not expected to do all the things.
Yes, but my kid's dad is someone who is the most selfless, like father who does everything for his kids. And he still, to this day, he does have guilt. He won't buy himself a new pair of shoes. He will not buy himself clothes because that they need something.
Right.
And they tell him, look, dad, like, just go buy this for yourself. But he has so much guilt and so much, he just doesn't know.
And I was asking Johnny, like, do you guys talk about, like, do the dads in your group, because, the dads in his group, like at work, are just like, they always like point out how much sleep Johnny gets. Johnny's like, I'm not gonna feel bad about sleep because I didn't have any children, because they're all dads, right? They're like, to sleep that long, and you don't have to take kids to school and all these things. And it's like, I go, do you guys ever have conversations in the dad circle, like that you feel that they feel guilty for certain things? And he goes, actually, no. But I don't know if it's because they don't like to talk about it because it makes them look like a punk or something. But I'm like, it's just not common. But I go,
no, it's because the wives are all doing it. Us women are always
things that they have to do, or the things that they couldn't do, and why they can't,
because I think most men do whatever they want because it's the women that raise the kids. It's the women in a normal, like I said, because like I said, my ex is the exception. But most women wives, they're doing everything, taking care of the home, taking care of. That's why they're the ones that are burnt out. They're the ones that
burn out.
Yeah, men are watching their football games and going golfing and doing their shit. They always have time for themselves, but and I know I'm speaking like I can't.
Right. We're generalizing, but
yes, generalizing because of the ones we know. Ones we know.
We don't really hear it in the office, like I can hear it from the, they're like it at the water cooler and be like, man, I really feel guilty about blah, blah. It's like, you really don't hear that, but you hear the women. Yeah. It's been a long time since I got my toes done.
Yes.
Like, I can't even sit down and read a book because the kids want me,
like having dinner with ask any woman who's busy, like, have they gone to dinner with a friend? Like, like that is so rare. That's hard for us, like, to do, right?
The children are like, I don't know how old. I don't know how old is appropriate for, women to have lunch with their friends.
Right?
I don't know.
Can they trust their husbands or men?
Yeah, because I was like,
partners.
We used to make time, and Johnny would watch the kids, and it's like, he's like, you need to have that time. But then when my time comes in, so that was our kind of deal. But or we'd have to like pay for childcare, like, and so and have our date days. It was no date nights anymore. It's like date days.
Yeah.
But date days, and like, like I can only imagine because I know it's hard, but I guess I feel like going back to what we were talking about, like, it's a nice place that we're at, with you, having your responsibilities and mine as well, to be able to say, I'm not going to do that. Like, I don't have to do that. There's no consequence of me not doing it. Like, so I'm like older and wiser now, I guess. And
it's a privilege at our age.
It's a privilege
at our age. Like we've gone through that. And
those productive years, productive years. It's do that when you have the energy. But when you come to a certain point where it's like all the things come down to how you treated your body all back in the 30s and 40s, all come back to you in your 50s.
Tell me about it, girl. Tell me.
It's
like, oh, I wish that I took better care of my body even just 10 years ago, because then it wouldn't be so
just like
hard.
10 years ago.
It wouldn't be so hard right now. It's so hard. Like, what the hell? You know?
So now it's like, okay, before I turn into the next decade, I should be
girl,
coming up with some good habits that I can control now. Like, forget about the past. Like, what about my future?
Right. What about now?
What about now? Like, take care of yourself. And the stress levels. That should be another thing I want to talk about. Is I want to talk about, how do you take care of yourself to live like a quality of life? And there's a certain things that I've been like, listening to and watching like about that. So that will probably be our next topic. All right. So that it concludes our podcast episode for today.
Yes, thank you.
Like and subscribe. You know what they all the youngins say. Whatever.
Click on the button. What do they do? Click on that
click
button.
On that notification button. But also we are on Spotify as well. Like, follow us there, rate us, and tell us how we're doing, what you liked about it, what topics you want us to talk about. And
or anything you have for us, anything,
anything, just like tell us, or go on our Instagram at Coconut Con Pod and see us there. All righty,
have a great day.
Okay, now how do I turn